5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the new Panic Room. It's the show other shows want to be, and the show that authors want to be on.
The all-new Panic Room radio show is brought to you by hellboundbooks.com.
Well, good evening, one and all. This studio audience is very excitable this evening. Good evening. It is Thursday, probably, I'm guessing, Thursday, 9:30 Central. It is the new Panic Room episode 102, which is neither here nor there, to be honest. We did the 100th. The 104th will be 2 years, but it's sort of in between. But, yeah, so that's that. It's, we had pre-warned, we're having a thunderstorm moment over here in Houston, so it could well be, if the power goes out, it was the thunder what done it. That was National Express by the Divine Comedy, brilliant sort of band from the 90s, from back in England, and you listen to the lyrics of that song, it really is brilliant. I mean, National Express is the equivalent of, I guess, Greyhound over here, so all human life there is pretty great song. The riff is just brilliant. It's just a fantastic one of those you can't help but tap your feet to, I find, and I was tapping my feet there. So anywho, and there's an overriding threat of the talk of baseball tonight. So you've been warned. I'm gonna have my finger over the buzzer on that one. So. But in fact, it was a day off, but it was actually her birthday yesterday. So I think we should bring her on. We bring her on. It's got to be Xtina. God bless her. Well, happy birthday for yesterday and all of that.
Thank you. And because my birthday fell right in the middle of the week, I'm still claiming it today as well. It's my birthday week.
You can have a birthday week. I have a birthday month, which is September. So,
wow.
10th of September, precise date. So write that down, and I expect a myriad presents and gifts and things from all my adoring fans. So
I had a great birthday. I did.
Good.
I really did have a great birthday. And I'm not going to blame the wine from my wonderful co-host James on the fact that I had like a really bad headache today. I'm not going to blame it on you. But I love wine. So yeah, exactly. And I'm drinking wine right now, and it's going to be a fun show. Because I started a little earlier because of the fact that, I had a headache all day today. So I felt like I deserved wine. Right?
Right. Hey, fine. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Like you need an excuse.
I know, but it sounds good. It does.
And what did I say for your birthday? It was wine, wasn't it?
It was, yes, exactly. That's what I mean. I'm not going to blame it on you for, getting into the wine or anything. So you knew what you were getting into when you sent me wine. That's all I had to say.
Well, like you say, it wasn't flour. I mean, flowers are nice, but you can't drink them, can you? So there's that.
No, you can't.
You can, I could send you some links to some great places that will FedEx the sort of chocolate that I like. So I have to remind me. I'll make a note. I'll make sure you get those links in good time. And in fact, we'll put them up on the website, which is what? Yes. Do you know what? I never know what is the URL for the website? PanicRoomRadio.com. We will put the links.
I think it's the new Panic Room Radio.
I've got it. I'll tell you. I've got it here in front of me. You should know this.
Wow.
We're both wrong. It's actually PanicRoomRadio.com. So I think I was closer. So I win that one. But yeah, we'll put the links to the chocolatiers up on the website so people can feel free to send me chocolate items from my birthday.
Well, to be fair, then we need to definitely put up the links to wine so people can, even though my birthday has passed, it's still always a great time to send Xtina wine.
Christmas is really not that far away. We're sort of halfway through to Christmas now, which is that, and there's always an occasion. I'm reliably informed by my daughter. We will be, because we actually when we bought her ferret, they actually come with a birth certificate. So we know exactly when the ferret was born. So we're going to be having a birthday party for the ferret. So there is an occasion to send wine and chocolates and whatnot. So,
I had ferrets. Me and an ex, we had ferrets together before, and they never came with birth certificates. We had like 3 of them. We never had birth certificates with our ferrets.
They come. You registered them, and they've got a little birth certificate, and their birthday 6th of January is the ferret's birthday. So,
that's cute.
She's really sweet. I mean, she's great. She's probably one of the best pets we've got, because you can actually play with her. It's great. You get her out, she'll run around, and if you ignore her, if you just, I like to get her out and then just sit. And if you ignore her long enough, she'll come and bite your feet. So play with me. Go, fatty, come on. She's great.
That's cute. Yeah, it's definitely I think it's definitely a better pet than the tarantulas, which kind of freak me out. But at the same time, I'm curious. So, I would like to see pictures from afar, but if I was ever,
I really wish I'd had my phone with me the other day, because I was just popped upstairs, and I was peering at them, see what they're up to. And one had actually caught a cricket, and it was actually munching on it got this dead cricket in its mouth. It was actually munching on this cricket. It was fascinating. Fascinating stuff. So, wow. I'll tell you what I will do if you want. What I can do, next time I feed my snake, I'll get one of the kids to film it, so you can actually see it feeding the snake if you want.
Really
if that entertains you, it's
No, I had a snake. I had a ball python when I was a teen, and so they don't bother me. But it's it's the spider that just the idea of the hairy tarantula thing. Oh my gosh, I can't do it.
They are pretty awesome. I mean, they don't do much. Sure. I mean, all day there's spun little webs in the corner, and they sit in that all day, and come out at night, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I just have these, and what is that stupid statistic that I've heard over and over again, that you swallow 5 spiders a year or something like that? Is that true?
No, it's not. It's bullshit.
God, thank God.
Bullshit. To be fair, you will consume more insects and spiders and such by eating day-to-day products. There are, and you can look it up online, there are FDA guidelines to the proportion of insect matter, I think, and mouse droppings as well, and rodent droppings that is permitted. This is what the maximum amount that is permitted in foodstuffs. So you just listen to those words, It means
permitted.
There are amounts permitted. So whatever it is, so many parts per million or so many percentage. So when you eat most of the stuff you eat, pretty much any packaged stuff, what have you, has remnants of insects in it. And
I swear there was a time when I was younger, and my mom was I think it was SpaghettiOs, and she was doing the top on the SpaghettiOs, and there was a daddy longlegs. I mean, it was dead, of course, but it was right there, on the lid of the SpaghettiOs, and that totally freaked me out.
They get in. I mean, look around your house. There's always something. I found there's a bunch of little tiny ants around my sink. Yes, I sprayed the crap out of them, but they do. They get in. So they get into the. People find sort of mouse heads and all sorts in cans, but they do in the canning plant, and it's just part of life, Part of life. It's funny actually. I was caught up in a bit of a debate on Facebook, because I was passing a bit of time away, and somebody said, "Oh, I couldn't, people eat insects in other countries." Well, you eat shrimp, you eat crawfish. What do you think they are? Really? They are not that far removed from the insects that you're turning your nose up at. Really?
I suppose.
That is there is no difference. Again, speaking zoologically, there is very little difference from eating a crawfish, a crawdad, to munching down on a cricket or a grasshopper or a spider or something. And there's more protein gram for gram in insects than there is in beef, and it is a lot cheaper and efficient to actually rear. Although I find that the grasshoppers do tend to fall through the gaps in my grill. So, not ideal. Not ideal. Or they're hopping away while I'm trying. They won't stay still. Just the grill. No, they're off. You know,
Do you remember that show, Fear Factor? Like, I don't remember.
Yes.
I don't know if they still. Yes, and that was the worst part.
Yeah, you've gone again. Happens a lot. Hello. You know, I've lost Xtina again. I don't know where she's disappeared off to, but she's gone. She's gone. So I don't know. Tell you what I'm going to do. This is our show. I know she hates this. You see, listen. So I'm going to play a little jingle. I think until she comes back. Well, are you back, or do I have to play that again? That was great. I love that.
I'm there,
jigging along. I was jigging along.
I know, and I was talking about Fear Factor because that was I know that the gross eating of the Madagascar cockroaches and stuff like that. That's the part that always got me. Oh, it was awful.
Do you know they sell those as pets? I mean, the big giant hissing. Who the hell wants one of those?
God.
I mean, yeah, I know we have a house full of weird shit, but come on, cockroaches. I spray them and stamp on them. I'm not going to buy one. I have one as a pet.
Actually, they're so big, I would never stomp on it. I would probably run away screaming. I probably would.
It would be like stepping on a crunchy Twinkie when all the goo would just squirt out.
Don't. No, gross. Oh my gosh, that's so disgusting. It is.
So, Xtina, do we have a show? What is going on in the show this evening?
We do have a show. I'm very excited for our first guest. Well, I'm excited for both of our guests. I am. But we have best-selling author of YA Paranormal Romance, S.A. Smith. Whee! I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, woo!
Yeah, I know. And then later on in the show, we have Kenneth W. Cain, and I'm very excited to talk to him about the book that he's going to talk about, which has to do with baseball, and I know that you are super excited about that, James.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can do that half the show, and I'll go to bed. I mean,
I can't
I'll set the alarm for the end song, and then that'll be that. Yeah, I'll be done. So. Yeah. Although having said that, and I only read it on your recommendation, the Stephen King book, the Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which was a lot about baseball. Thoroughly enjoyed it, I have to say. So maybe it's just watching it that bores me to tears. I guess that's it. But that could be it. So hey, should we?
We should. We definitely should.
Should we? Good. Right. Well, let's bring on who is it? S.A. Smith? Is that right?
Yes.
It is. I can read. I've got my readers on, you see, so I know what's going on. Here we go. Hopefully, is that S.A.?
You've got me. I'm here.
So, what were your parents thinking? I mean, could they not give you a proper name? Was it just, let's just give her initials?
Well, you know what they were
thinking?
They were thinking that a lot of people won't read books that are written by women, and a lot of people only read books that are written by women or men. So you'll notice a lot of authors now are using just
their
initials.
Yeah.
Because that way you appeal to both. And I got to tell you, Sherry is pretty boring. And that's my first name. So Sherry Smith is like, there's a million of us. So when I started writing, I just decided to go with S.A. Smith. And that's just what I use.
Well, that's brilliant. I use my middle initial because when I started out, I started in writing screenplays, and believe it or not, there is on IMDb there is a James Longmore that is not me. So I stuck the H in it, which, according to Nicholas Pazione, stands for homosexual. Which I'm happy. Let's run with that, shall we? You know. So, but again, I never thought of it that way. I mean, I guess. You think of E.L. James, J.K. Rowling. I mean, I guess it kind of... Is it mostly the women, do you think, that prefer to use initials? You think, is that the case? Or?
I don't know. I did it for me because I know that a lot of people were saying you really don't want to use your first name when you do this. And it was my first book. It was about 8-9 years ago. So I did that. It seemed to work for me. Also, Sherry Smith is pretty boring. My son is a Smith, obviously, so we gave him the middle name of Danger. So his name was
fantastic.
So he
Danger, brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, he loved it.
And Sherry is not a boring name. There's a song. You have a song, you know.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. All the time, saying everywhere.
Yeah. So that's not a boring name. There is no song about Christine. There is there? I don't think. Oh wait, I think Kiss wrote a song about a Christine.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It's a movie. So
there is that. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah. So you are here to talk to us about your Forever series, and I love the tagline. Only time will tell, but what if you had forever? I like that. So Can you tell us a little more about it?
Certainly. There's 4 books in the series. Also, for your listeners, right now Dreamer is free on Amazon. If you want to go download the first book, give it a try, put it on your Kindle, see what you think. It really is all about Sadie Jones. She's going through life. She's nice and sweet, but she never fit in. And she always wanted to fit in. It was like her thing. She wanted to be normal. And I think that resonates with a lot of us growing up. We just wanted to be normal. And, there is no normal. But she just graduated college. She's moving out with her best friend. And it's really, she thought her life would go one way. And it's really changes completely. She meets people that really help her on her journey. And she finds out things aren't always what you think they are. And there's these magicals in this world that all are different. And as she goes through her journey, she realizes she had no idea this existed, and she had no idea what she could do. So it's really fun to be her in it and realizing that the power that comes from not being normal and not being what she always hoped she could be, and then learning that really she's so much more than that. And that's what it's about, all 4. Yeah.
Awesome. Is when you are reading, when you choose to read, is it paranormal that you are most interested in?
That's funny. I read everything. I'm a junkie. I read 3 or 4 or 5 books a week. I really like history. I like history fiction. It's my favorite. If you can throw in, like Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Slayer. Did you guys see that movie?
No, I did not actually. I did not fancy that at all. In fact, funny enough, I actually saw that I watched the wrong one. I watched the one with Daniel Day-Lewis, and I kept waiting for the vampires to come on, and there wasn't one.
Well, I love. You need to watch it. It's a great movie. What's so interesting is you have this regular history going on. They try to throw the real thing in there at you, and he's trying to free the slaves. He's trying to do all this stuff. But in between, there's vampires going through and killing. I love books like that are set in real time or real history, and then just weird stuff is going on all over. Those are my favorites.
That sounds really good. Now I want to watch that movie. I do.
You should. It is.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
With the wine. Yeah.
Now, when you were
fun.
telling us about the series, I couldn't help but think of I can't remember who wrote the books. Beautiful Creatures. Did you
I haven't read that. No.
Oh my goodness! I really.
Now
it was years ago. It was years ago, but I really enjoyed it, and they made a movie. I don't know, a couple of years back.
They did, yeah.
I didn't care for it. The movie was they messed up the movie, and I actually thought that if they had done it right, they could have had another like Twilight, crazy thing going on. I really thought they could have, but they kind of messed it up. And,
is Beautiful Creatures the one that the guy that does the Hobbit movies? He did that one. It was like one of his first ones.
Peter Jackson?
You know?
No, I'm just looking at it. No, the director is Richard Lagravenesse. I've never heard of him. The book was by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. There you go. I just googled it. But it's a film that I would like to see. I just again. There's just not enough hours in the day to read everything and watch everything, unfortunately.
Right.
But,
and I suppose if you're not familiar with the series, you can just watch the movie, and it probably was good on its own. But if you know the book, it was a letdown. But it was beautiful. I do remember thinking the scenery and everything. It was just beautiful because I think it was set in I want to say Louisiana or something. I think, but anyway, it was good, and I thought of it, which brings me to I want to hear more of your story. Do you have an excerpt for us?
I do, but I have to set it up a little bit for you. Sadie has this ability that she's had ever since she was little, where she can be around people and she can kind of feel what they're feeling. And as she's gotten older and went through puberty and now she's 21, she's able to really hone in on that skill. So she thought this is something everybody had. You can kind of, somebody walks in the room, you can tell if they're in a bad mood or not. She has that ability times 10. And if she gets close to you and can look in your eyes or touch you, she can really, it's like she's one with you. So in this part that I'm going to read to you, that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get into his eyes to try to really feel what he's thinking. And the person she's talking to is Sebastian. And Sebastian is somebody that came to her in dreams, and it happens throughout the book, and she doesn't realize he's real. And then towards the end of the book, they fall madly in love. Paranormal romance. So this is her. She's had a huge amount has come out to her today. Her parents fessed up, all kinds of stuff. Don't want to ruin it. Go download the first book so you can find all this out. And then she's now she's confronting him. She's like, hey. So that's where we are. So here we go. And I'm trying to hold this, and we're in Florida, and there's a thunderstorm going on. So if you hear it, I apologize. I looked up into his big chestnut brown eyes and was afraid to ask the next question that I knew I had to ask. Sebastian, what type of magical are you? You don't age. You disappear at will. You're incredibly strong. And why do I only get to spend the evenings with you? What is a Mandrago exactly? He took a deep breath, thinking a moment before he gave me his answer. We're a strong race of very special people. Unlike you, we're not born to Mandrago parents. We're chosen people who've been turned into Mandragos. We can do many special things, but nothing as significant as you'll be able to do. He looked distant again, as if he didn't want to continue answering my questions. He smiled down at me, hiding his real feelings because he realized I was staring at him. So far, he is the first person I've ever met that I could completely mask their feelings from me. Chosen? How are you chosen? I asked. We're picked usually for the forte that we excel at, but there's several ways. I was chosen for my strength and agility. He played with my fingers as he spoke, trying to distract me, I assumed, and it was working. You sleep during the day. I've only seen you out in public at night, and today my mom told me that I was insane to think that you could be at her home because it was still daylight. Why? Why did she say that? Prefer to sleep during the day, same as you prefer to sleep at night. He stood up and moved to the counter. Do you realize that every evening when the sun goes down, the entire human race goes into a coma? Their heart rate slows, their breathing becomes deeper. They dream so their minds will be occupied, as if the darkness is evil and they must sleep until the sun rises again to avoid it at all costs. Even those who sleep with another next to them aren't even aware of their presence again until the sun rises. Haven't you ever found that to be odd? He said, following my eyes across the room. I prefer to enjoy the night and sleep during the light. Do you choose that, or does the light hurt you? I asked, standing slowly and moving towards him. It doesn't burn my skin, if that's what you're asking. He walked away from me and into the middle of the room. I followed, not letting his eyes get away so I could try to tell what he was feeling. He crossed his arms and looked down at me. Sadie, I think you have something you want to say. Just say it. You sleep during the day. You're faster than anyone should be. You appear in my dreams. I think there's something more about you that you're not telling me. Closer to him, placing my hands on his arms and looking at him. He looked stoic, and I was having trouble reading his face. I have told you all you need to know now. Haven't you learned enough today about your life? Do you really need me to throw more at you right now? He pulled back from me again, making sure his eyes were drawn away so I couldn't read in them what he was feeling. Yes, I do. I really like you. I want to be able to get to know you completely. But I can't do that if I feel like you're hiding something from me. I'm not hiding anything. I'll tell you whatever you ask, he said harshly. Fine then. Sebastian, what is it that a Mandrago is that you aren't telling me? He walked towards me and hesitated for a moment as if he was trying to make a decision. When he finally reached me, his eyes looked worried, and I knew he was struggling with what he was about to say to me. He placed his fingers under my chin and lifted up my head so our eyes would meet. All you really need to know is that I'm your soulmate. I've traveled oceans and time to be with you. He moved his hands to mine, and I held them. Looking deep in my eyes, he said, Mandrago is who I am, but we are also known by other names around the world. Some know us as Strigoi, some as Ramaga, but you might know me better as Vampire. That's it. You have to read the rest.
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
wow.
Dun, dun.
I had an inkling that's where it was going. I sort of, but yeah, it was brilliant. I like that. I do like I do like a vampire or two, I have to say.
Yeah, I've always been a
he
vampire
could be
fan.
anything. It just happened. I mean, he's a vampire, but that just happens to be what he is. It has nothing to do with the story per se. I mean, he could be a werewolf, he could be anything, but he happens to be a Mandrago, and it really fits into the story later on. So, but there's a lot of different stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great. I like that. I was enjoying that. Yeah, you read it beautifully as well. You should do. Have you had any of your books turned into audio books at all, or? Because if
no,
not, you should.
No.
You should. You could read them yourself. Read them yourself.
Okay, no.
Get them out there.
Well, thank you very much. Very sweet.
No, anytime, because vampires, we have them in movies and in TV and books, and so I guess I'm wondering, what do you do differently in your stories to, like, maybe set them apart, or do you have the same, lore in yours as a bunch of the mainstream vampires? I mean, they don't sparkle, so that's great.
No, there's no sparkling,
Yeah.
and they're killers. They're not happy little people eating rodents. And they've been around a very long time. But they also, in my book, there's magicals are common. So there's all different kinds of magicals. So him being a vampire just happens to be what he is. Just like the other person that's in the book, the triangle, is a dragon, is a shifter. And he's terrible. But you don't know that, and And there's all different types, and I don't want to ruin it why, but there's all different types of magical. So it's no different than your best friend being from Scotland. You know, I mean, it's just like that kind of thing. So it's not a big deal.
Awesome.
It's not a vampire book. I don't want you to think it's a vampire book. It's a Sadie book. It's all about her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what is Sadie? Does she have like a, empath? I mean, because that's what I would think. But is there like, I don't know, any other, something else that she is that,
She is I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
She is the most powerful of all of them. She just doesn't know it, and her powers are born to her. So as she gets older, like some of her powers are starting to come in, but they will start to come in, and she doesn't know how to use them, or something will happen, and she'll be like, "What was that? What?" Stuff like that. And it's really fun to watch her try to figure out what's happening and how she can deal with that.
So,
at that age.
And these are YA, is that correct? They're young adults?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're young adults. They're young adults. And they're young adults, but, young adults are also, they're, I would say, 16 up.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't give this to a 13-year-old, but 16 up,
right.
Fine.
Right, especially with the whole romance thing going. I know that, when I was a fan, even though I kind of talked about them a little bit, I was a fan of the Twilight books. I really was. And I think that was the only thing for me that was missing in the story was, I wanted Edward to, rip her clothes off and, so.
Well, I always get that in mine. That will happen in mine. And I got to warn you, book 4, if you're not ready for that, it's going to happen. So just
wow, awesome.
Be ready.
I am ready. Yeah, and I was going to say that I did I put the book up on our Facebook page with the link there. So if anybody wants to, go and find that book and download it and start reading it right now,
sure.
They can do that. Yeah.
Download it and read it. The first one's completely free, the whole book. Let's get you hooked on Sadie and her friends and see what you think.
So what are you working on right now?
I've titled it Ruby on the Rails right now, but basically it's a really fun story that just came to me like 6 months ago. Her name's Ruby. She's something called a Neko that I've never heard of, and I'm still researching what everything she can do. But basically, she's got a cat spirit. And she can do things cats can do, but supernaturally.
Cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've
got to ask you. You've lost me. So go on. So you have to explain it for Thicky Jim. What does she do?
Well, basically, she has keen senses. She can see in the dark. She can climb. She can do all kinds of really interesting things. And she's a crime fighter, so it's a little different. It's not so much romance, but yeah, she's going to take some things down. She's pretty badass,
That's cool.
Excellent.
She doesn't. Yeah, she's been kicked around and she's ready to take people down.
I love strong female characters. I really do. I think that's one of the things that I dislike when I'm reading a book is I call them the weak, wishy-washy women. And so I want them strong. I do. Yeah, really. I want Buffy. I want Buffy to kick ass. That's what I want. And not the sweet little innocent girl. No. So
okay, you need to read my Forever series because she kicks butt. I mean, she figures out who she is, and there's no stopping her. And it's really fun. Yeah. We all need a Sadie in our life to stick on people. Go get it.
Awesome. So you are awesome. You're an awesome guest, and you have an embarrassing story for us, don't you? I love this part.
I am so klutzy. You should just know I am so klutzy, and I'm 6 foot, so I'm really tall and klutzy as hell. So there was this horrible thunderstorm, and we were in Dallas. We lived in Dallas. My husband is a visual effects supervisor for films, and he was working on a film out there. We're there. Huge thunderstorm. We have a 5-year-old. And we had a new puppy. So all of a sudden I hear this thunder. I'm like, oh, my God, they're out back riding bikes. I run, miss the stairs to get him, miss the stairs, and stand in place, turn, go over a barbecue, land on the ground, broke. Both of my ankles broke, but I got the kid out of the lightning storm. Thank you very much.
Oh, my God. Did you say both of your ankles broke?
Yeah.
Oh,
I kind of I went down the stairs over the barbecue, landed in that, but when I landed, I landed on both feet and my body turned, and I heard him pop, and I went, oh, this is going to be bad.
Oh, ouch.
That is so awful. Ouch.
I think that's one of those things that only sort of hurts later. You know, at the time you don't feel it because you obviously adrenaline and everything. But then the pain kicks in a little bit later.
Yes, I'm sitting on the garage floor going, go get Mommy the phone. Okay, bring it to me. Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to call the police. How fun. Okay. Trying to keep them quiet and okay through the whole thing. I love paramedics. Wait, they're coming.
Yeah. Hey, he wants to ride in an ambulance. Hurrah!
Yay! Yeah, exactly. It's
awesome.
Going to be so fun.
Wow. I think my ankles hurt now just from hearing that. Yeah. But I do have a similar story. I think I had my daughter on my hip. She wasn't even a year old yet, and I was walking down just like a step and a half, but I missed the step and a half, and I twisted to make sure that she wouldn't get hurt, and went right down, and she's just laughing and whatever, because she had no idea that we just almost died.
Yeah. So, mother's instincts there. We'll save the kid. Doesn't matter if I die. We'll save the kid.
Exactly. Well, and the funny part about that is, I never even wanted her to freaking get dirty. There was never a speck of dirt on the kid. She has so many allergies now, it's crazy. My son, same age, I remember him one time sitting in mud. It covered his whole body, just mud everywhere. And, he has no allergies at all. He's fine. So, get your kids dirty.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I brought my kids up in squalor, as you know, and they're never ill. They have the constitutions of oxen. To be fair, they'll be ill for it's funny. My daughter manages to be ill. She'll throw up first thing in the morning, and then day off school. Literally, no word of a lie. By certainly no later than noon, she's bouncing off the wall. She's right as rain because you can't take her in because they have a policy here. If they throw up, they've got to be off for 48 hours. So you've got this hyperactive board. She was in the pool, that afternoon, and she was at death's door in the morning. I said, seriously? Oh, I'm feeling better now. And then she's raiding the pantry, and you're supposed to be ill, daughter. Oh, I'm all right now.
Do you know?
But no, there's a lot to be said. I read an article a long time ago. So, kids that were sort of brought up around animals, with dogs or cats or whatever, have far fewer allergies and immune system problems because they have the antigens in their body. So I think there's something. I wouldn't let them eat dog poo or anything though, because that's probably not healthy.
Good for
Good. Yeah.
Just a parenting tip for all the listeners out there. Don't let your kids eat dog. Well, any poop, really. Any poop, I think, draw the line at poop.
Yeah.
Wow, I totally had a thought for a second there, but now my mind is just on dog poo. Thank you for that.
You are welcome.
The daddy long legs and the dog poop today. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there. I don't know, but we are just about out of time.
Put it this way, Xtina. I mean, there's no way further down, so it can only get improved from now, really, can't it?
Yeah,
there is that. Yeah, we are just about out of time for our first segment, though, and I wanted to thank you, Sherry, for coming on the show. And you have to promise to come back and see us again.
You betcha, I will. And thanks for having me. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I want to have you on for the whole show next time. The whole show is yours, and we want more readings, and, it's going to be awesome. And we have all of your links put up on our Facebook page. If anybody wants to stalk S.A. Smith, they can go there and do that. And, again, Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much. Go download the book.
Thank you so much.
Read it.
Read the book, people. The first one is free, yeah? I think I'm going to get that myself, I think.
Free.
And if it's free, by Jiminy, I'm having that. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, there you go. I think it's new bottle of wine and wee time, respectively. So we will be back.
Radio Show is sponsored by Hellbound Books, purveyors of all manner of dark fiction. You can find the publisher along with links to all their available works across platforms at hellboundbookspublishing.com. Hellbound Books is proud to be the first in the indie publishing business with a very own app on both Google Play and the App Store. In the mood for something steamy to read, check out new erotica author Jennifer Lynn's website at jenniferlynnerotica.com. You can find James at his website, www.jameslongmore.com, and Xtina has an author page found on the Hellbound website. Don't forget to follow the Panic Room Radio Show on social media. Our Facebook page, Unofficial The Panic Room Radio Show, Twitter at Panic Room Radio, our YouTube channel, The New Panic Room Radio Show, and come visit our website at www.panicroomradio.com.
Sorry about that. I was ordering some blue tack from Amazon there, so that was a classic piece of radio there. So yeah, guys, there's a Sweet Little Lies from Fleetwood Mac from back in the 80s. Geez, that must have been 87, 88 from the album Tango in the Night, which I had. Brings back some great memories. So, what happens now? We have
Becky! Yay, we have Becky!
Yeah, I know. You know, I do tease, don't I? A little tease, really. I do sort of. I remember her most weeks, to be honest.
Most of the time, yeah. It's hard to forget Becky.
You know, so happy. She's sickeningly happy. I'd like to know what her secret is. You know, I'm thinking category A drug personally, but you never know. You never know. But it could be that. But hey, whatever works.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, she says she doesn't drink, but like every time I post my, drinking thing or something, I think she's the one that's always going tequila, so I don't know if I buy that she doesn't drink. I don't buy it.
No, well, that's true. So, hey, without further ado, let's, should we?
Oh, hey. Looks like it's time to review something. Oh, no.
It's Becky the Reviewer. How are you, Becky?
Maybe it's not Becky the Reviewer.
Is it not? Hello?
Yeah. Did you push the right button?
I have pushed the button. Is there somebody there?
Hello. There she is.
Hello? Come on, Becky, join in. You're on. Come on, join in. But you weren't. You weren't saying nothing. I'm going to have to edit that out in post-production now, so thank you for making extra work for me.
I know, I'm terrible.
Yeah, I have nothing better to do, clearly. So, Becky, building a part up, as she does. What have you got for us this evening?
Well, actually, I'm going to talk about reviews tonight and how important they are to authors instead of reviewing a book. Because everybody needs reviews.
Because you couldn't be bothered to read one this week, basically.
I wasn't going to say that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we're all friends here. If you couldn't be arsed, then fair enough. So off we go. But no, it is. It is an important. I think as all writers. I mean, all writers listening in, and all writers are not listening, which I think encompasses all writers when you think about it. Have this. We ask people to review the book. We send copies out. We don't mind sending copies out, and then. 90% of people just don't bother, and
right.
The review. You tell the listeners at home just how important reviews are and why.
Well, reviews are important for a lot of different reasons. Most of what I hear when I do a review is that the authors learn things from the reader's point of view that they didn't necessarily think of. So it helps them learn and grow as a writer. But when you leave reviews on like Amazon, it changes the dynamics of how and when the book is advertised by them.
Definitely.
And when it shows up on recommended list.
Yeah, I mean, if a book gets more than 50 reviews, got good reviews, then Amazon will actually begin to actively promote it. But like you said, I mean, it's people do. I mean, I do. If I'm looking at new authors or what have you, I will read. I read reviews for everything, whatever I'm going to buy. Even if I'm going to buy something like the blue tack that I was buying when we started the second segment there. And you read the reviews for something you never bought before or whatever you do. So, but with books, people like that bit of confidence that what they're buying is good. So I think people don't realise how important it is, to the success of the book to actually make an effort.
I read the bad reviews first. I really do. And the only thing I'm looking
exactly the same. Yep.
Yeah, but the only thing I'm really looking for when it comes to bad reviews usually is editing. Like if they say, "Oh, this book was, riddled with mistakes," I'm going to turn that one down because nothing takes me out of a book faster than a mistake. So, and I love the reviews that talk about, "Oh, this was too dark for me" or something like that, because that's definitely one that I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait." Or the ones that talk about sex. Swearing. Yeah.
Well, I had that. I mean, my novel Peed, which again, I think I've read this out, and I have a copy right here, as you do, and it says on the front of the book, a skin-crawling, gut-wrenching, nerve-shredding, sexy roller coaster of a novel. Yeah,
it says sexy right there.
It says sexy on it, and somebody wrote, "Oh, there was sexy in it." Well, really, I've had somebody who pulled me up on using big words. I think there must have been like a 10. Seriously, I mean, read it. It's for Flanagan. Somebody's written. Basically, taunting. "Oh, you're showing off using big words." I had somebody pull me up for using whilst. In America, we say while. Well, bucko, I'm not actually from America, so go fuck yourself. Whilst.
Yeah,
so,
I like
but,
that.
I mean, you get people who buy the book and they just, it was a bit, and it's called, Violence in Violent Town, Violently on Violent Night, and it was a bit violent for me, I didn't like it.
Right.
I think, some people just like to have a good whinge, I think, to be honest.
I am an American, but I think that some Americans are so, we are Americans and we are the best. Therefore, if you do something that we don't do here, it's wrong. Well, it's not wrong because, I read books from people in all different countries and everybody has, there are differences and it's okay to have differences. But I think sometimes, us Americans are just like, this is the way it should be. And if you don't do it the way we do it, you're wrong.
Well, I mean, okay, the occasional Englishism is going to slip into my work. I mean, it's going to happen. And, while or whilst, both are correct. But to pull me up on it on a review for, really, is that? But on the plus side, if that's all they've got, it's obviously a good book. So Becky, are you outside? You sound like are you sleeping under the motorway bridge again, or what?
You're not supposed to tell people. No, have visitors. Great. No, I'm not. I'm not outside.
You just sound like you're outside, or in a wind tunnel.
A wind tunnel. Yeah, I thought so too.
Calling us from the wind tunnel.
You always say that.
Because you're always in a wind tunnel.
I'm not. I'm sitting inside in the living room. I'm sitting inside, I swear.
See,
you've been at the Taco Bell then.
See, James, she is so drunk. She doesn't even know where she is anymore.
I don't think she does. I think she's probably in somebody. She's in somebody else's house probably, and they just got the police will be on the way.
Shit.
That strange woman's in the house again, Mum. Who is it? Who is that strange?
I do have on clothes, so we're okay.
No, well,
I want to agree with Becky. Everybody needs to leave reviews for the books they read and basically anything. People want to know what they're buying. So leave reviews, people.
And one other thing about that too is people think that when you write a review, it has to be long, it has to be, great, it has to be whatever. It doesn't. All you have to do is leave a star rating and say, I like the book, or it sucked, whatever. I mean, however, but be honest about it. I mean, that is one of the most important things. Just tell it like you see it.
Because I read so much, so many indie authors, if I don't like a book, most of the time I will shy away because I don't want to leave a bad review. I don't. So instead of, 1 star in it or or something like that, I just won't. So I don't know.
To be fair, I will make, if I've said I'm going to leave a review, I'm always honest. I'm known for my honesty, my bluntness, but I can always find something. You know,
Right.
to be positive about. Because you usually, unless it, I mean, I think there was one book I bought along when I was researching Bizarro before I wrote Colin Forshade, and I bought it because it was extreme horror. It was Bizarro, and it was appalling. I mean, and it was just the layout was bad. There was whole chunks of it repeated. There was riddled with errors, just terrible. It's like the guy just throwing it together. And the thing I actually made a point of saying, and they got back to me and said, well, if you'd like to detail the errors, we can fix them. I said, well, no, I'm not going to be an unpaid editor for you. You want me to edit it? Fine.
Right.
But I ain't doing it for you. No, it's just a crock of shit. That's just embarrassing. Don't put stuff out like that. That was just insulting. That was a waste of whatever it was, $12.99 of my money. I was not happy with that.
No, I'm
most
not.
of the time because I do the blog and I do reviews. If it is bad, I go talk to the author first, and sometimes I have a really hard time with that. But I have done that, and I have said, there are some things that I like about the book. There's some things that I really don't. And, do you still want me to write the review?
Yeah.
And I know they'll go,
I think any author worth his salt who is committed to his craft will welcome that. I do. I always say, if somebody asks me, can you read this? Give me an honest review. I will say, I will be brutally honest, and if you're prepared for that, not a problem. And I am.
I can agree. Yeah, because I remember sending you something, and, you did. You told me what you liked about it and what you disliked, and that was better. I think that especially in the indie world, there are too many people that are just, oh my God, that was wonderful, and they don't. I don't know if they have low standards, or there's part of me that thinks that some of the readers just they read so many bad books that they just think everything is great, or maybe they don't want to hurt people's feelings or whatever it is. But people need to be told, what is good and what is bad, and I don't think enough people are honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think it's not so much that. I think people maybe don't like to give the bad news, but they are doing authors a disservice. I've had in my early days some vicious critique, but it has helped me to shape even now. We're learning every day. We're still learning something new, and we need that. Without that, how are we going to develop? So.
I hate criticism. I really do. I hate criticism. But at the same time, I would hate to put out a project or a product that was bad. So, we need to embrace even, the bad things that, it just makes us better. That, it does.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Becky, are you going to have a book for us next week? We need a book. We need a good book for you to review next week. And no more wind tunnels, okay? No more.
Yeah, she'll be calling us from under the flyover again next week. Okay, Becky, thank you so much for joining us. Go on, why not, eh? Why not? And hopefully it'll be a Hellbound Books book, because we have loads of new ones coming out, so take your pick. Take your pick. So, thank you for joining us, Becky. You go back to the soup kitchen, and we will
drinking in the tunnel.
Drinking in the wind tunnel by the soup kitchen. We will speak to you next week, my dear.
Thank you, Becky.
Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. She does. I'm sure she's sleeping rough. I'm convinced. So, Xtina, who I'm going to let you intro the next chap.
Okay. Well, we have, and I'm excited. We have dark fiction author Kenneth W. Cain. Push that button.
Kenneth, is that you, sir?
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. And you are not in a wind tunnel, which is great. You're coming across loud and Becky. She does. I don't know. I'm sure they make her sit outside. I'm sure.
Well, usually I have like 10 fans on in my office, so I had to turn them all off.
Oh, So you'll probably suffocate in the next half an hour then. Hopefully not. So yeah, Kenneth, thank you for joining us. You are a recipient of the Horror Writers Association Silver Hammer Award, which is awesome, and best-selling author of what? Guys, I put you on the spot now.
I've written a trilogy. It's currently out of print. I've just recently got rights back to some of my first novels, and I'm reworking them in hopes of reselling them. I've actually resold the trilogy, but mostly I'm probably most known for my short fiction collections. They've all done pretty well. These Old Tales, Fresh Cut Tales, Embers, which was my first one through Crystal Lake Publishing, and hopefully the forthcoming Darker Days, which is due out in December.
Awesome.
Wow, busy guy.
Yeah, this has been one of those years. I have 3 books coming out this year. I've edited one, but I have A Season in Hell, which is a novella, baseball novella, more like dark literary fiction. And then Darker Days, my 4th collection, and then I edited Tales from the Lake Volume 5 for Joe over at Crystal Lake.
So I have just started reading A Season in Hell. I'm not too far into it because I've had a really busy week and everything, and I can't wait to read more. But and this is the part of the show where James is going to pretend to fall asleep and everything and threaten to push the button on me. But yeah, I know. If you've heard any of the past shows, he's mean to me when I bring up baseball. But are you a huge baseball fan?
You're on thin ice, Xtina. You really are.
I love you, James.
The thing about it is so I actually played baseball for most of my life.
Nice.
So it just was like, the old saying, write what you know. It's things that you pick up over time.
Yes.
It might not be something that you're passionate about, but that was something that I was very passionate about. And
awesome.
As you read A Season in Hell, you'll learn that it's not so much about the baseball as it is about the relationship between this man and this woman, a very, platonic, non-sexual at all, and how they learn to respect each other. So it's more about that than anything. And, just recently, shows like TV series like the 2nd season of 13 Reasons Why, and even the 1st season. I mean, athletes in general get cast in this negative light. I mean, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't be, but there's also another side to it, and that's what I'm trying to show. I'm showing the bad as well. That bad is there in the story, but there's a nice side to it too. Camaraderie and stuff like that. So hopefully I've succeeded.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that was a really, good save that you did just then by saying that it wasn't, necessarily about baseball because, James is still with us. That's good, But I was thinking that, I was thinking that because it's, our guest's passion, that we should talk more about baseball. That's, that was my...
Could we? I mean, as long as we need to find a guest who's passionate stamp collecting, that's probably incredibly difficult.
And you're doing that. It's perfect timing. James is doing the robot thing, so he's going to have to mute himself for a minute so that he can, I don't know. It happens every week. I think it's part of the show now that this happens. So while he's not here, I can talk about baseball now. So who is your team?
My team is the St. Louis Cardinals. So I've been a Cardinals fan since I was born, pretty much.
Huh. I can't say too much about them because they're not in my division at all. So I don't have too much of an opinion, which I guess is good because I really do have an opinion on, some of these teams right now. And we just started a series with the Red Sox, and while I can't say that they killed us tonight, they did some damage. For people who don't know, my team is the Blue Jays, and they happen to be doing horribly this year. How is your team doing? How are the Cardinals doing this year?
They're middle of the pack, very poorly. So they're not doing well. So I'm right there with you. it's one of those seasons where I'm like regretting buying the baseball package from MLB.
Yeah. See, you know, I am such a fan that I will watch like I had a friend of mine, I think was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday when I was watching a game and, you know, my team was losing right off the bat. I think, oh my God, the other team scored like 6 freaking runs in 1 inning, and my friend was like, you know, you don't even need to watch the rest of the game. I'm like, are you kidding? That's like blasphemy. You know, you have to watch the whole thing, regardless of who's winning, who's losing. It's, you know, it's all about the journey. I say that now, but I mean, I do yell at the TV and stuff like that. But you know, I know, right?
Yeah, I've seen some like crazy games. I coach my son's baseball teams. They're always like asking me to coach this team or that team, and I'm like, all right, you know, what other chance am I going to get to coach my son, you know? So we just won the championship game for his league, so that was cool. A cool experience for me and him to share, you know, for our life.
Yeah. That is so awesome. I want to hear more about A Season in Hell. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Besides what you've already said, yeah.
The thing about A Season in Hell was when I was very young, I played my first coach pitch league, you know, or whatever it was back then. I think it was like coach assisted. There was a girl who played on my baseball team, and you know, that was like late 70s, and she was very much picked on for playing baseball.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean that time in that day and age, you know, coaches didn't have rules about having to play this kid or that kid so many innings or get them in a bat. It was just about, you know, whatever they wanted to do to win the game. And if they didn't feel like a girl should be playing baseball, then they wouldn't play her. Now she was like one of our best players, but still the grief she took from the boys, you know, it got me thinking at an early age. You know, I had 2 sisters and a mom, and my dad was always away on work. So I was very much surrounded by women my whole childhood. And so I was, I guess, more empathetic to what she was going through, which didn't appear to bother her on the outside. And I wasn't friends with her. I didn't know her well. But, you know, I guess I've kind of always taken that with me in my journey through life and remembered that. And so this story is kind of like picking up those pieces and putting this girl or woman, Keisha Green, into the minor league baseball system, like made-up minor league baseball teams in the late 1990s when, you know, steroids was just starting to get, you know, blasted, you know, because of the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa thing. And, you know, so everything's exploding, and here she comes onto the scene, you know, this, you know, not by any means the first woman in baseball, but the one woman in baseball at that time. So it's mostly about her struggle and dealing with men and how they perceive her and how they, you know, whether or not they accept her. And you know, it comes from the perspective of the catcher for the team, who's also a rookie. So he's going through that rookie season with her, and his name's Dylan Peterson. And it's about, you know, it's kind of about his awakening. You know, he perceives her as, you know, just any other player. He doesn't see her sex, and he just sees potential. And it's all about, you know, him trying to deal with the pressures of other men. You know, that thing that we're all taught as men. You know, the way you have to act, and he's trying to break out of that, and yet keep to himself. And it's a difficult thing, and for him, for Dylan Peterson, and you know, they become friends, and in a weird way.
Awesome. And, I want to hear more. Do you have a reading for us?
I do. Do you want me to read that now?
I would love that. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, I've been told I sound a little bit like Seth Rogen, so bear with me here. All right, here we go. This is like the first 2 scenes.
Okay.
20 years after the season that almost ended his career far too soon, Dylan Peterson stood before a crowd, still feeling as woozy and sick as he did that first at bat. Only this time, being here in front of all these fans troubled him. He had no business here on this stage, and knowing that made his legs weaken as he neared the podium. When he got there, he clung to the mahogany dais as if it were all that held him up, the weight of this moment as heavy as any in his life. A sea of red and gray clothed fans unfolded down the green rolling lawn before him, many sitting in chairs the facility had provided. Others filled in the gaps between trees and vending trucks, anywhere standing room could be found. He barely heard their clapping, all the cheering, the whistles. Much like at the stadium, he blocked it out, trying to focus on the task at hand, though he still hadn't figured that part out yet. Not fully, anyway. He knew what he wanted to say, but wasn't sure how he was going to get there. When he looked up from the podium, for a brief second, he was transported back in time to those childhood sandlot games when he swung a bat that was way too big for him, how they used to argue over balls and strikes, whether a tag had been applied in time, legging out a double and just making it to the bag, diving for a liner and coming up with grass stains on his jeans. His mom always hated that. Watching a game with his father on their black and white TV and trying to understand the nuances of the game. Then to the near pass, to the stadium, positioned behind home plate. Armored in his gear and waiting for the ball, ready to make a tag. All of it, the stadium, the cheers, the memories, dissipated as a single voice resonated in his head, one that had haunted him since the day he met Keisha Green. You think you're one of us, but you ain't. You hear me? You ain't no ghost. When Dizzy McLean said those words, he had sucked all the joy out of baseball. Even now, Dylan wondered if he had reacted any differently, would the outcome have changed at all. A laugh invaded his thoughts. Behind him sat several men, all of them being honored today, a bust of their faces hanging amongst prior inductees. Diz among them. He had been accepted into their fold as if nothing ever happened. Dylan didn't blame them. Likely none of them knew more than what they had overheard over the years. They wouldn't know any more than any of the fans. No, the fact that Diz sat there with his shit-eating grin, chatting about the good old days, that one was on Dylan, and it was a score he had longed to set straight from the beginning. The way Diz laughed made Dylan's stomach churn. He tried to focus on his speech. I have this. He dug into his pocket, found his speech, and fumbled through the pages, trying to gather his thoughts. Though he had worked so hard on this speech, none of it made any sense now. And looking at the pages, he saw his fingers, his championship ring. Though big to begin with, it felt so much heavier now, much more so than his wedding ring. His mouth like a desert, he cleared his throat. A few in the crowd rustled, their impatience mounting. Why should he care? He didn't even want to be here. The words seemed to move as he read them. As a child, I loved this game. That's what it is, too, just a game. From the moment a kid grabs a bat or a glove, the dream starts right there. All you want is to make it to the bigs. A single tear welled in his eye. He wiped it away, overwhelmed. What he really wanted to say draining him. A quick glance to Christy gave him strength he needed to continue. She had been his rock all along. He steadied himself. No, you know what? That's not true. This is anything but a game. That was made apparent to me early on. This business, it's hell. Right from the start, from the moment you step onto that field for the first time. Dylan unlaced his tennis shoes while thinking about their first spring training workout. A hard slap across his back roused him out of his thoughts. You believe this shit, Rook? His fingers tightened around a rolled-up sports section in his hands. He smacked the newspaper against his empty palm. Can't believe they're even considering this. Dylan tracked the veteran right fielder's gaze and saw her standing in the manager's office. Bobby John sat behind his desk, puffing on a stogie, talking out the side of his mouth. Dylan recognized her right away. They had come up through the system together, though he never played against her or heard much other than the occasional male bravado. I don't know, Dylan said. They must be seeing something. What? Diz looked offended by Dylan's words. Girls don't belong in a man's game. Dylan finished untying his other shoe. Never know. She might be really good. Diz grimaced. You sound like one of the nerds writing for this paper. He slapped the paper into Dylan's hands. Dylan paged through, skimming an article about her. All he really cared about was her slash line, which wasn't bad given she was on the shorter side and a woman, although he hated to think of it that way. Come on, Diz. She's got good numbers. What are you homies talking about? Miguel Contreras' smile indicated he already knew. That Chica over there? He nodded toward the office. You're damn right that's what we're talking about, Diz said. Ain't no girl gonna play ball here. I don't know, man. Miguel's eyes glimmered. Might be fun. He grabbed his crotch and pulled at his junk. Nice. Dylan shoved his shoe in his locker and withdrew his jersey, flipping it over his shoulders and buttoning up the front. Real mature, guys. He's set to put on his cleats. What the hell are you talking about, Rook? She's a threat to our jobs. One comes, then they all come. This ain't good no matter how you slice and dice it. Maybe the potato here is right, Dylan. Miguel's hand was still grabbing his cock. Diz grinned and punched Miguel in the shoulder lightly. Well, at least I got the moves to score with a girlie like that. You ain't no Latino Casanova, you know. Besides, you pick your nose so much, ain't no girl ever gonna go for that. Can't help it, Miguel said. Got a nose full of dirt from spending so much time behind the dish. Miguel laughed and then nodded at Dylan. Hey, you almost ready? Yep, just give me a... Tell you what, Diz said. We got to get rid of that dame right fast. Trust me, if we don't, there'll be more. Dylan clapped a hand on Diz's back. Whatever, Diz, it's not that big of a deal. He needed to focus on learning skills from Miguel, as he couldn't afford to get set back down. Ever since his dad died, his mother needed to work 2 part-time jobs to make ends meet. Dylan sent her what he could, but he wanted to ask Christy to marry him. So he needed to pay at this level to afford an engagement ring on top of everything else. Dylan kissed his fingers and pressed them to each of the 2 pictures he brought with him every game, home or away, that of Christy and his mom. It took a second longer to glance at the newspaper clipping behind those pictures, the story of how his mom saved those 2 kids from a fire. He could still remember the way her hair smelled that day, how heroic she had seemed to him as well as now. Reaching down to grab his glove, Dylan followed Miguel out of the locker room. At the door, as he glanced back, not surprised to see Diz gawking at the office intently. Something about the way Diz grinned made Dylan uncomfortable. And there you go.
I can't wait
Fantastic.
to keep reading. Yes. I definitely can't wait to keep reading because
even though it was baseball, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, and I love. You know, we talked a little bit about The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and the first time I read that many, many years ago, that was before I really watched baseball and knew anything about it. So, you know, there was a lot of parts that I just didn't get. Like, I had no frame of reference at all. But reading it again after I became a fan, I was there. Like, I could see what was going on, and I loved. I'm gonna have to read more baseball stuff. I really do. That was awesome, and I can't wait to really dive into it and read more. We're running out of time, and I hate that. We have to have you back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to run over.
No, I was. You know what? When we have a good reading, it just gives me more time to sit back and drink. So that's awesome. So you have to promise to come back and see us again. I want to, have you on for the whole show, and maybe we can talk more baseball. If we, maybe we can promise James he can take a little short nap or something, while we, talk about baseball. That would be fun. It really would
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Maybe I can find a story about stamp collecting for next time.
Yeah,
there's
not that many really exciting stamp collecting stories out there, I'm afraid.
I got one. I have one actually. I haven't
brilliant.
Yet.
Yeah, he did. He was telling me that he did write a story about 2 stamps that his dad had in a drawer or something. Right?
Yeah.
How cool.
He
has something for both of us.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
He just kept these 2 stamps in this jewelry box on top of his dresser for his whole life, and I always wondered what it meant. So.
That's
wow.
Cool.
Yeah. There you go. So,
yeah,
it's a stamp story.
Yeah, we are out of time, but I wanted to thank you for coming on the show, and we will definitely have you back for the whole show next time. If anybody wants to stalk Kenneth, we have all of his links put up on our Facebook page, so they can go there and do that. And again, thank you so much, and I can't wait to read more. I love, and the cover, that was a really good cover too. I can't wait.
Oh, thank you. Luke Spooner did that, and he's just a fantastic author.
Yeah, it was really good.
Luke designed in fact, the book that's out tomorrow, The Unredeemed. Luke is one of Luke's, so he's an incredibly talented young man. And he's British as well, so of course. All the best people are, I have to say. So. Okay, well that is it. I'm afraid it is that time of the evening when we have to say. And I'll cue before I cue up the next song. This one is for Xtina, so it is time to say goodnight, Xtina.
Good night, Xtina.
Good night.